because this thing's so tall. Yeah, you know what? This isn't like quick by any means, but I feel like it's got a good amount of power. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a 2022 Mercedes 3500 with four-wheel drive. This is a pretty rare beast in today's market. Before we get into the video though, as always, a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington, Utah for giving me some time with this Sprinter. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below where you can check this one out. It is available for sale. And something that's awesome about the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington is they are a one-price store, so they're going to make your buying experience really easy and straightforward. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get right into the review. So under the hood we have a 3-liter turbo diesel V6 that goes through a 7-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 188 horsepower at 3,800 RPMs and then 325 pound-feet of torque at 1,400 RPMs. So let's go to the front end of the Sprinter. First off, I love the antenna just there in the center portion. But what you guys can see here is we've got some venting on either side, which is obviously functional, but it also just looks cool. Coming down below, we've got halogen lights for the headlights, and then we have Mercedes signature emblem here on the front end with some chrome accenting, and then parking sensors here along the bottom. And notice how the bottom portion is not painted like the rest, and that is because obviously that's a high traffic area for rocks and other debris and everything, so you don't have to worry about having to repaint it all the time, which is definitely nice. And this definitely has a pretty large stance because, well, it's a big cargo van. Now coming on the side here, we've got 215mm tires wrapped around 16-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear, and this is a dually configuration. Now coming back here to the front, you guys can see the wheel design. I love how we still have a Mercedes emblem there in the center. And then here's a quick look at the suspension, and this definitely looks like it sits higher than a Sprinter that doesn't have four-wheel drive. Maybe I'm crazy, but it looks like it. Anyways, notice the protection here on the side, but then it's kind of painted down there below, so it's kind of interesting with what they've done. Now this van doesn't have any windows, so you can see kind of what it looks like from a side view perspective, and there you go. Well, that was easy. And we've got the inside handle. Double easy. And also, you guys can see this little thing, but we're just going to pop there, and then up, and boom, super easy. Also, I can stand all the way up here. Now notice we've got this nice flooring here, so you're not stepping on like exposed paint, but obviously we do have this from the wheels, because again, dually life. But yeah, tons of space in here and tons of headroom as well. And look at this, we got ventilation throughout too. That is pretty cool. This thing is all set up to be like converted into like a crazy camper van. And speaking of conversions, you guys are probably wondering, how much junk can I throw in the trunk of my Sprinter? 5,717 pounds. That is correct. This has an insane payload because it's the XD series, right? So that just like makes the payload so much more. And yeah, there's tons of ventilation throughout. This is definitely very, very well engineered. And we'll just step on the bumper again. And then, boom. Now make sure you always do this door first, and then this one second. Notice we got the Mercedes logo there, Sprinter, and then our 3500 XD badge, 4x4 as well. And then if we pop underneath here, you guys can see the little exhaust tip, and look at the size of that differential. Again, dually life, right? And the other thing I want to show you guys, leaf springs. Now, gross vehicle weight rating on this is like 11,000 pounds. So if you do it like fully loaded, it's going to be a very, very hefty boy. And then we, of course, have the sliding door, which gives you access. And I guess I'll give you guys a full side view here with the door open. This thing's like begging to be converted into like some sort of camper van setup. Similar to that one over there, actually. That's pretty cool. Anyways, I guess finishing things up the exterior, I'll show you guys the rear, which just like other cargo vans, you have the camera. That little thing at the very top is the backup camera, so you always have kind of like a funny camera view. But yeah, also giant taillights. Now here's the door panel at the front. You guys can see here with the padding and the stitching. And then notice with the window controls, and then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Got the mirror adjustments as well. And then you can see here with the seat adjustments, memory seats, heated seats as well. Lots of luxury features for a cargo van. And then here is the gross vehicle weight rating sticker setup. And there's lots of other stickers and everything. But anyways, you guys can see here with the seats, got these nice leather seats. The padding on them is actually really solid. And of course we have more labels. You always got to have tons of labels. Anyways, let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel. You guys can see really nice trim all around the steering wheel, and then you got some blacked out stitching there. Some controls here for actually the infotainment system. Volume, voice command controls. On that side, we've got our cruise control and the controls for the center stack. This does have adaptive cruise control, and also paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel for the 7-speed automatic. And then we have our turn signal windshield wiper stock, and then we have our column shifter, normal Mercedes-Benz fashion. So we've got some hidden controls right here. We've got this for the 4-wheel drive, and this will have like a red thing that'll blink until you are in 4-wheel drive. And then we have the low range, which will pop up here in the center screen. So yeah, that's where those buttons are. Now here is the gauge cluster. So mostly analog, but we do have the screen here in the center, which we can scroll through different bits of info. So you guys can see like how many miles are on the van, for example. Pretty straightforward stuff. Most modern cars have something similar to this, and so yeah, that's that. Now here's the infotainment system. The funny part is when you pop it into reverse, we have parking sensors, but like, look at how small the trajectory lines are in terms of the total view because the camera's so high up on the van. Definitely interesting. I've always wondered like how manufacturers figure this out. Do they just like do math to figure it out, or do they like just keep crashing vehicles into walls until they, or like on the sides of things until they figure out, ah, that's where the trajectory line should be. Anyways, as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's Mercedes' newer infotainment system, well, I guess newer-ish infotainment system, so I can control it with that little steering wheel control if I want. It's really responsive with the touchscreen function, really easy to use, and there's some analog controls here at the bottom. We have our single zone climate here with the Sprinter, and I love how the recirculate button is actually a cargo van. That's pretty cool. Got some cup holders right here, and notice with the storage space there off to the side, and just notice there's like just tons of space because, well, cargo van. Anyways, notice up here there's more space. This is like right in the sun visor section. Camera light doesn't want to really pick it up. Also, there's no rear view mirror because, well, this has no windows, and so they're like, why would we put a rear view mirror in? Because we have no windows. So like, yeah, I mean, it makes logical sense, but it's also weird to not have one. Now here's a window sticker for this Sprinter. You guys can see here with the standard equipment, and it's also very high up because, again, this is a massive vehicle, the window sticker itself. Axle ratio 3.923, very, very specific. That's such a German thing to do. Anyways, you guys can see like the warranty maintenance situation stuff. But anyways, notice the base price and then after options, because this has the 4-wheel drive package, and look at the price. So yeah, anyways, $75,930, and man, I'm gonna have to like run a marathon before I can get the whole van in view. Let's see how it drives. That's where you fill up the diesel. Ah! Talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear, which obviously we can't see anything throughout the rear because no windows. But we do have blind spot monitoring for the mirrors, so like, again, that helps out. Anyways, let's set off. Okay, so we are setting off here in this Sprinter 3500, and this is a beast. It's big. It is definitely very, very large. But that's the reason why people buy these, because, well, that means that you can fit a bunch of stuff inside, and again, 5,700 pounds of payload. A lot of companies are, you know, now focusing towards making everything light, and so like, you could just fit so much stuff with this van because of the payload, that is for sure. Now, something that I want to mention is the suspension's a lot better than I thought it would be. Again, being a big 4-wheel drive dually cargo van, I thought it would ride pretty horribly, but initially it feels pretty solid. Also, the air conditioning is actually working pretty well in terms of keeping me cool. It's over 100 degrees. Oops, windshield wiper. It's over 100 degrees outside today, and well, now it says 99, whatever. But yeah, I feel like I'm staying pretty dang cool. Other stuff here with the cargo van, seat comfort's actually really good. It's got this like little armrest thing that's yeah, I guess that's cool. Other stuff here with the van, Visibility, despite the fact that we don't have any visibility throughout the rear, is, I mean, at least for the front, it's pretty solid. And again, we've got these gigantic mirrors which show pretty much everything around us, so that is definitely a big plus. I mean, look, that's a little makes Mercedes look so small. That's so funny. It's crazy. Yeah, C300, and it looks tiny because, well, we're, yeah, on top of everything. And yeah, that's something to mention, is you do have that, definitely like that king of the road feel with this van, but you're very far forward in the van, and so it's definitely, it makes this feel smaller than it is, slightly. I really like the steering wheel feel too, because it's like actually nice from a material standpoint, and so it doesn't feel like a, you know, crappy cheap steering wheel like what you get in a lot of cargo vans. Now in terms of sound, I mean, I'm not gonna, it's not any louder than other cargo vans, but the thing about cargo vans is they are loud. This is pretty smooth. It's pretty dang smooth. And another thing about cargo vans is they all rattle. I've reviewed a ton of them now, and it doesn't matter like who makes it, they all rattle, so it's something you just have to get used to. But I think it's just because there's like, every car rattles, but like they have so much sound deadening that it gets, you know, it diminishes it. But this has like no sound deadening, so you get to hear all of the rattling. Now we're doing my normal turnaround, and well, I guess we get to test my driving skills here with the Sprinter to see if I can fit, or if I have to make a million-point turn. Wow, I was a little bit nervous there, honestly. I was a little bit nervous there, but we actually fit very easily. I can now officially drive a semi-truck. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that big. One thing you do have to like watch out for, those trees. This tree over here is hanging down so low that I'm gonna have to like drive off to this far to the side so that I don't hit the branches, because this thing's so tall. Yeah, you know what? This isn't like quick by any means, but I feel like it's got a good amount of power. It's torquey, that's for sure. Look at that little dinky Nissan van. You don't compare to us, Nissan. We're in a Sprinter. Let's sum things up. So, from the exterior aesthetics perspective, every single cargo van, like, to be honest, they all pretty much look the same. I do think it's cool when they do different colors. Like, I've seen some of these Sprinters in like a cement gray color, and it looks so beautiful. And especially with like off-road tires and everything, it actually looks like a really, I don't know, it's a really cool looking vehicle. Interior is really nice for a cargo van. Again, you've got plastics everywhere, but that's kind of what cargo vans are about, because it's all about, you know, durability, and again, these are used as work vehicles ultimately. And then from a driving perspective, that's what impresses me the most about this, is despite the fact that this has like insanely large beefy leaf springs, it actually, are the lights on auto? Yeah, they're on auto. It actually rides really well. It's smooth for a cargo van. Like, it's definitely has like a luxury feel to it, and that's unloaded. With leaf springs, how they work is once you load them up, then they seem to kind of feel a little bit softer because they're under a load, so they're not so stiff, right? They're kind of they're compressed a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised by this. And so yeah, I mean, this thing's great, and the four-wheel drive, right, frankly, I obviously didn't get to test that system out at all today, but we all know that four-wheel drive helps out a lot, especially in like snowy situations or muddy situations, wherever this might go. If you turn this into like a camper build and everything, then it's a nice, in the low range too, it's a nice thing to have, so you can make it up hills and everything. Especially if you build this out and add a lot of weight to it, that low range will help out with digging in and getting up hills and all that kind of stuff, in, you know, off-road camping situations. So yeah, I think this thing's cool. I'm glad that I finally got to drive a four-wheel drive Sprinter to see what all the rave's about, because like, you can't find these things. I'm surprised that this isn't sold. I'm sure someone in the comment section below will let me know, like, oh well, because of the color, or because it's a dually, or there's probably some reason why this isn't like this. I'm guessing that like, if this was four-wheel drive and in that cool cement color that I mentioned, then it'd probably already be sold. But maybe because it's white, maybe because it's a dually, people don't want it as much. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think on this. I think this thing is pretty nifty. And if I was gonna build a camper build, I would probably do it off of this because again, the payload is just, it gives you a lot of opportunity. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Sprinter. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington for giving me some time with this van. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see ya.